Coach, a very warm day outside by Minnesota standards, but then again, it is still summer. Either way, the AC is working just fine at U.S. Bank Stadium in the Twin Cities. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Baltimore Ravens and the Minnesota Vikings. 2 weeks have come and gone. It's off to week 3, and we're underway on EA Sports. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The first carry now for Dalvin Cook. And, whoa, he's going to hope that that is not a sign of things to come. A rude welcoming to this ball game. It's a 6-yard loss on the play. And it'll make this a 2nd and long. Operating from the gun, Love. It's caught, Smith. And he'll be brought down right at the 30 here. It's a pickup of 12, and that'll set up a 3rd down.
I do believe we'll see a little bit more of this as this game progresses, because when you can have that type of a gain in the middle of the defense, it hurts them in so many ways, because most teams like to be strong down the middle. And if you can sting them there, that opened things up for you on the outside as well.
But that's where their big tight end, is so good, that middle third, the seam routes, the in routes. Yeah, you're right. Probably see more of that.
Yeah, it takes a lot of courage and fortitude to go in the middle as well, and he's got it.
And that's caught by Smith. And they've got it well across midfield, down to the 40 before it's all said and done. That one goes for 29 yards on 3rd down.
First and 10 at the 40-yard line.
Chad Hutchins, 18 Gator. Wildville.
Back to throw. Love. And the ball comes out. Love lost it. And it's picked up by the Ravens. And they get the football. They'll set up shop at their own 49-yard line.
With no running backs in the backfield to help pass protect, all the receivers in their patterns, these are going to be hot routes. If they sense a blitz or pressure on the quarterback, they've got to be prepared to break routes off early and get the football. In this case, never even had a chance. They popped the ball free in the backfield.
After the fumble recovery, it's Jackson. Oh, a scrap for the football, and he's going to come down with it. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. Call that a very strong gain of 24.
And a Raven first down.
Run it. Line's 59. 81. Slam.
Jackson from the shotgun, going for it all. And nearly picked it off. He had a chance to come down with that in the end zone, but it'll wind up just being incomplete.
Well, that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice, getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, have them back on their heels.
2nd and 10 now from the 27. Jackson now. Throwing again. Trying for Brown, and it's intercepted. Picked off down near the 5. And this one will be brought back to the 22. That's now his second interception in as many weeks from his linebacker position.
And think about all the different techniques he has to employ in a passing situation. Is he spot dropping because it's zone? Is he picking up man-to-man? Is he having to run with a running back or a tight end? In any event, great eyes, head on a swivel, and excellent hands.
Yeah, versatility and showing those hands. Here's Cook as they begin on the ground. And he's upended after a gain of 4 up to the 25-yard line. Tough running there. That's a hard-earned 4 yards.
Yeah, those are the unsung kind of runs. They don't fill up the stat sheet, but they do set you up in good position on second down.
Following the pickup of 4, here's 2nd and 6.
Watch that end. Tight end's right.
2nd and 6. Escaping the pressure right. And he'll avoid the tackle there with a slide. So apparently some grabbing there in the middle of the O-line.
I've often wondered why that doesn't happen more often for guys that play center. Having to snap the ball and then trying to get your hands into the proper position, that's difficult to do. He got caught that time.
Now they face a 2nd and long following the holding penalty. From the gun, Love. And he's got the hook up to Moore. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down.
Well, that's what you're looking for when you want to throw the ball downfield. You want one of those guys who can play out on the perimeter, can play out wide, who can not only get open, but when they're covered, can uncover themselves downfield and create catches.
So a 3rd and 10, and defensively, a dime look, 6 DBs. Operating from the gun, Love. And that is incomplete. So it doesn't look like they're going to be able to build off the turnover.
Well, the defense certainly did its part. It got them the football. But you're exactly right. It looks like they're going to have to punt this one away. And it's not a turnover, but doesn't it feel like one after grabbing the momentum with the defensive play?
Yeah, and they had all that momentum after getting the football and now zapped right back in the other direction. There he goes right side. And all the way in for a Ravens touchdown. What a run. 79 yards on the punt return as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter.
Brandon, my man, just one sentence for that one. Clinic.
And that's what they've done. They lead the league in points per game this season, but it's been quick strikeability as we saw on that drive.
I think they're actually intimidating defenses because they're back on their heels right away, wondering where it's going to come from, how they're going to hit them. This group is well organized, well coached, and extremely confident in what they do.
At their own 25-yard line.
The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. And things haven't started so well for this side. 2 drives, 2 punts.
So now you've got to start looking not just at play calling, but which guy's going to step forward and say, okay, let's get this thing done. Because within that unit of 11, sometimes one guy can make a big-time play and break through the barrier.
He'll get 15 and a Vikings first down.
There are so many things to watch for when you play defense, and reading your keys, you always hear about that, and having your eyes in the right place. Sometimes your eyes can fool you. How about that play action there? And it sprang the big guy, didn't it?
Able to dump it over the top to him. First down, here's the run with Cook. And they get him down right near the midfield stripe. 9 yards is the pickup there, and they'll have a 2nd and 1.
Next, the receivers helped spread the defense out, and they were able to come through with a slashing run.
But to that point, it's going to be interesting to see the personnel chess match as this one progresses.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Can they continue to create running lanes out of passing sets? And if so, it's going to be a long day for the defense.
And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. Plays like we just saw there, that's why they're up right now. And the defense, they're doing their job.
Yeah, it starts with the guys up front. So when you talk with GMs who are putting together a team, a lot of them say we're going to build from the inside out, because if you control the line of scrimmage, you control the rest of the ball game, and that's what we're seeing here. They're actually playing in the offense's backfield, not necessarily just playing at the line of scrimmage.
He needed 2, he got 1, and that's going to leave him with 4th down and a yard.
Well, big man with ball, met bigger man on the other side of the line. A really nice play for the defense.
The punt team on now as Pinion sends this one away. Give him 11 yards that time on the return. And the Ravens, they'll take over. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. They've got a 7-0 lead in the football as well as they start out 1st and 10. Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. Got a man. It's Brown. And they'll get it all the way up about 5 yards shy of midfield. He got 29 yards that time. The big play to start him out has him at the 45 already. From the gun, it's Jackson. This will be caught by Brown. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. 12 yards the pickup there. Good for a Raven first. From Viking territory now, they'll come up 1st and 10 at the 43. They'll try the left side. McFarland, and that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield.
Anytime you call an inside running play, you just know there should be a lot of congestion there. You're counting on your offensive line to take control of the line of scrimmage. That didn't happen in this case, and that play got bottled up.
And an alley to run. Look at this, middle of the field, a breakaway. And all the way in for a Ravens touchdown. Lamar Jackson hitting double digits with his 10th touchdown of the season as the Ravens push further out in front. Tucker with the extra point, and it's now 14-0. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully.
At their own 25-yard line.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board. Ball on the 30. They'll come up with a 2nd and 5. 14-0 the score. This is the NFL on EA Sports. Second quarter now from Minnesota. It's the Vikings in possession of the football as they are looking at a 2nd and 5 situation. Second and 5. And the Raven pressure too much. Down he goes. Jalen Ferguson picks up his 2nd sack of the afternoon.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
The Vikings on 3rd down. Just 1 for 3 thus far. This is going to be 3rd and 13. Looking to throw. Love. And able to catch it on the left sideline, but they're going to rule him out of bounds. So it'll be incomplete. Certainly one they'd like to have back as it brings up 4th down. Here's Bradley Pinion now as he's on to punt for Minnesota. 46 on his first kick. This one in that neighborhood as well. And this one will not be returnable as it sails out of bounds.
At their own 29-yard
The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. It's been a good first half so far. They're up 14-0. Points here, that could really put them in command before intermission.
Yeah, and it's all well and good what they're seeing and how they're feeling right now. But this is the NFL. How many times have we watched 14-0 leads evaporate and quickly? So how have we seen them combat it? Continue to run your offense, but don't back off at all. Don't start looking at the clock. Don't start thinking about, hey, just take care of the football. Keep attacking. Usually the best way to maintain control.
A big hitter to start the drive has him up near midfield here for 1st and 10. Jackson, option right. They'll wind up losing 11 on the play, and it'll be a 2nd and long.
Check. Watch 54. I got one.
Throwing on 2nd and long. Jackson. He's got his man. It's Andrews. It's a pickup of 12, and that'll set up a 3rd down.
Completion was given up, but that's why you play zone defense, so that you can have people around the ball when it's caught, and you don't give up much run after the catch.
An extra defender in the secondary for the Vikings here on 3rd down. Now Jackson, eluding the pressure right. And that will be incomplete.
Certainly looked like they were getting ready to convert there on 3rd down, but what an effort to get his hand on that one, knock it away, and brings up a 4th down decision.
On 4th down, here's Lachlan Edwards to punt it. And the win last week punted 4 times as this one's away. And this will be out of bounds. Now it's a question of where they'll mark it. And they'll say it crosses at the 11-yard line. The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. And they're in a bind early here, down 14-0. Are you worried at this stage or still too early?
You're worried. You're just trying not to transmit it to the rest of your team. You want to make sure that they stay positive. But at the same time, you're wondering, how are we going to move the football? What do we have on this play sheet that can work? Get back to basics is usually your answer. And make sure you find the guy who can move the ball fastest for you if you just get it in his hands.
Yeah, still 2nd quarter. You get points on the board here. I think you're feeling okay.
Red, 60, Pittsburgh. Get off the field, defense. Go. 40's Mike.
They'll run on 1st down. Cook. And he'll get about 6 up to the 27-yard line.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
6 yards on that last play. Here's 2nd and 4.
Hey, we got 3 down. 80 weapon.
2nd and 4. Flushed out right. And this is incomplete. Some of the fans here don't seem too happy about what we've seen in this first half.
No, not at all, and I understand why. They've looked lethargic, out of sync, and it shows on the scoreboard.
The Vikings on 3rd down. They've only converted once in 4 tries. This is 3rd and 4. From the gun, Love. And he comes back with one complete. And down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40. 13 yards as the Vikings pick up the 1st down.
1st and 10 at the 40-yard line.
A couple of 1st downs have them to the 40 now on 1st and 10. Operating from the gun. Love. That'll be complete to Cook.
And a nice gain and a broken tackle along the way, and really we shouldn't be surprised, should we? That's what runners do, especially the best ones. They break tackles and gain extra yardage.
6 yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4. to throw. Love. And all this is taken in one-handed. What a catch. That one good for a first down pickup of 18 yards.
It's got to the point where we see guys like that make that type of a catch. Not fair goes through my brain. That size, that speed, and now they're acting like wide receivers too.
Yeah, tight end one-handed catches. They're kind of like wide receiver one-handed catches nowadays.
Just not right.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10.
Let's get off the field, D.
From the gun, Love. Buying time, and he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes.
One thing that I liked about this guy during the draft process was his motor. Of course, I loved his skills, but he plays hard on every down.
And that motor on full display there as he gets his first NFL sack. Sacks, a growing theme in this first half. This is 2nd and long. Looking to throw. Love. And this is Cook with a grab. It's a gain of 7, and that'll force upon him a 3rd and 14.
It's funny, throughout the time that we've been together, when we talk with running backs about the ability to catch the ball, their eyes light up when they talk about open field and having one-on-one matchups, don't they?
Yeah, they do. And that's the reason why. What we just saw, shedding those tackles, and that's what they're used to doing.
It is, and it starts at the beginning of the play. One-on-one matchup if someone's trying to cover them, but they also like those one-on-ones downfield after the catch when they're running with the ball. They think they're going to win those too.
The Vikings on 3rd down, 2 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd and 14.
Alpha.
Operating from the gun. Love. Forced out to his left. He may try and run for this. Only able to get back a yard for his efforts, and that leads us to 4th down.
And, partner, I would guess that in his headset he was hearing from his coach, it's 3rd down, don't take a sack. And in this case, he's able to avoid the pressure and get out of there. He doesn't get the first down, but he does turn a possible loss into positive yardage.
Was a kicker from that distance, 56, 57 yards. So many things you got to worry about, but I am a little surprised he didn't get it there.
Yeah, with the way kickers are nowadays, we're surprised anything under 65 that it doesn't get at least to the crossbar. But remember this, you have to drive it a little bit lower in order to make that distance, and you also have to be worried about the interior rush that they can get their hands on it. So that's why those
into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off by the linebacker, Eric Kendricks. And he's just across midfield and down at the 49-yard line. 1:57 to go in this first half on EA Sports. A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we do all season, we'll send it down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have all the stats and scores from games in progress around the NFL.
The best multitasker in the business, the coach.
Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
Now the Ravens going to use one of their timeouts as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important 3rd down. The Ravens bring out an extra defensive back here on 3rd. From the gun, Love. And he goes down. The Ravens able to get to him. The Ravens going to use the 2nd of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. Averaging 50 yards a boot so far as this one's away. And now where will the side judge stop his walk? That's the question. He says it crossed out of bounds at about the 17-yard line. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. And now consider the lead. The question is, how much is good enough? Are you going for more?
It's the NFL. There's never enough, I believe.
A big seam, and he might go all the way. across the 20. And all the way in for a Ravens touchdown. Miles Boykin, 83 yards, as the Ravens push further out in front. And Charles, I had an offensive coordinator tell me one time that they design every play to score. I don't know how true that is, but he had to run a long way after that catch. Heck of a play.
I think that when he was telling you that, he was designing run after catch in every play. I mean, that's the only way to put it in there, and that's what we got on that one. Nice catch, an even better run for big yardage.
At their own 25-yard line.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And some dangerous territory. You're already down 3 scores. A 3-and-out here. Looking for Thielen, but it's intercepted. Picked off at the 23. And he will score. Touchdown, Baltimore. Make it back-to-back weeks now with a pick-6 for him. He had one a week ago.
Talk about being in the groove, and what are the odds of what we're seeing right here? You don't see it happen very often. Listen, if you get a pick-6 in a season, it's been a big year, let alone back-to-back weeks. Tell you this, I want to play cards against this guy in the locker room.
Tucker able to connect on the extra point, and the route is on here in this first half. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken.
The Vikings take over 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. Typically down to the first half, I might say, oh, you at least need a field goal out of this drive, but they're down to the point where they need a touchdown, don't they?
Yeah, normally, you know me. I mean, you've been around me for a while now, right?
Unfortunately.
I'm sorry about that. But normally, I'm the one preaching patience.
Yeah.
You know, take your time. First half, you still got a chance. I think they're out of patience here. This has to be a drive that gets a touchdown. So if you're the play caller, you're going to that portion of the sheet that says big-time plays, specials, anything you can use to get yourself back into it.
The Vikings going to signal for the first of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 37 seconds to play in this first half. This quarterback now 11 of 15 through the air. Here's 1st and 10. Operating from the gun, Love. Oh, he's going to let this go for the end zone. And Thielen's got it. Touchdown, Vikings. Adam Thielen, his first touchdown of the new season, as they are now on the board here in the first half.
I'm not sure that they have illusions right now of, okay, we're going to score 8 times in a row and we're going to be terrific. But to get one, that was huge for them. That has to feel much better right now.
And you do have, we're still in the first half. You do have the entire second half. There's something about that goose egg that just looked bad on that board, but now they've broken it.
Yeah, broken through. Can they maintain the pace? We'll see as we go along.
At their own 25-yard line.
The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. You've got less than 30 seconds left here in the half. You're well on your own side of the field. What are we doing here, Coach Davis?
Well, I'm trying something on first down, and it's something that's safe. It's something that's been done many times before. A lot of people say it's not even worth trying, but I'm running a draw. I'm running a screen.
And he'll take it into the end zone for a Ravens touchdown. Lamar Jackson, as the first half is winding down, as the Ravens push further out in front. Not a whole lot to recap on that drive. Just one play, 75 yards to the house.
Yeah, it's a long way to go. And remember, rarely is it a straight line 75 yards, too. Got to have a little extra in there. So whatever the final number is, a well-deserved seat on the bench, a little oxygen if he wants it as well.
We got this. The Vikings take over 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. We're under 20 seconds to go in the half. I'm guessing the wise play here is be safe.
That is the wise play, because if you think about trying to fool them here, here's what you're facing. You're facing a loosened up secondary, playing a lot deeper than normal. So even if you run some type of misdirection, You're only going to fool them for a second or so, and guess what? They're so deep, they're really not going to be out of position. Take the knee, get to the locker room.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38.
49.
From the gun, Love. They'll tussle for it, and this is going to be caught. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. So even with the pass interference, it's a completed pass. They'll go ahead and just take the play instead.
How about the effort? Making the catch despite the pass interference. Nothing else to be gained on the play. No need to take the penalty. The play stands.
Ready, break. 14 spill. Hey, smoke. Hey.
On 1st and 10, Love. He's going to throw one up for the end zone. And it's intercepted at the goal line. It's the former Seahawk, Earl Thomas. He's got daylight. 20. And he will bring this back. It's a pick six and a Raven touchdown. So now 2 pick sixes that he's thrown in this first half of play. Where do you go from here?
Well, number one, make sure you keep your poise. Make sure you go to the sideline after throwing this second one, and you look like you're still in charge, that you're still the guy, because your team's going to feed off of you. And if you're having your hands on your head or shaking your head, walking with your head down, guess what? They're not going to rally at all.
This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he's able to get it across the 20, but not by much, as he's marked down at the 21-yard line. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. They built a good first-half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively.
Go, go, go. 61.
From the 24, Jackson. Over the middle here to Brown. It's a big play there for Baltimore. 41 yards.
Just more of the same there, partner. Guys have just been running free in the secondary this entire game. No pass rush, a lot of passes completed. It's been an easy day for them.
So that changes things a bit. Here's a 1st and 10 all the way down at the 35. He's got a first down and much more inside the 20. And he is into the end zone for a Baltimore touchdown. Lamar Jackson, 35 yards, as his guys continue to pour it on. He keeps carrying the ball into the end zone, and in this one, he's sort of carrying the team on his back.
He's the reason that they lead right now, no question about it. And you talk about on his back, he's not minding the extra weight at all, is he? Carrying that just as lightly as he does the football.
Yeah,
what a great performance so far.
Those 3 touchdowns, and he's got him in the lead.
Let's go. Take over 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. They trail offense, first time to touch the ball in quarter 3, and we'll see what they can do.
And I can't wait to see what they have planned, because some teams script to start a half. Other teams just go, okay, these are the sequence of plays we want to run. These things worked well for us. And sometimes they throw in that big chunk play right away.
Shocker.
Try and get after them early and try and create a big play to give themselves some momentum.
See what they have up their sleeve. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. A 10th carry in the game for Cook. And he's into the clear. He's at the 30. And he will score. Touchdown, Vikings. Dalvin Cook, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Vikings are able to at least knock this deficit down a bit. Tavecchio good on the extra point. So they do get one score back, but still a long way to go here in the third quarter. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. And last time out, another touchdown, and I think there may be some empty seats around here by the time the fourth quarter comes around.
Yeah, I have to agree with you because this one's just about decided. But you know who benefits from all those empty seats? You and me, trying to get to the airport.
That's
the road
true.
to be fairly clear by the time we have to leave the booth.
Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards.
Check curls, check curls, check curls.
Now a give, right side. McFarland. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. 12 yards there and a first down.
How many times do we say in this game that speed kills, and it does it in so many different ways? In this case, you got a back who's quick and shifty, can make moves, make people miss, but also gets to and through a hole before it can close down. That's some of the benefits of that speed, not just outrunning people in the secondary. And that led to a really nice game.
Jackson throwing on target to Brown. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. 28 yards the gain there on the catch and run.
Some think that teams really won't throw a slant route unless you have a receiver that has a lot of stature to him. But sometimes the little guys, they get lost in there. People can't really locate them, and they run that quick cut on the slant, and oftentimes they can turn it into big plays.
And that'll hurt the average a bit as this time they're able to get him behind the line. That's going to go as a loss of 4, and it'll be 2nd down. Stop him, but he does take it all the way to the 2. A gain of 28 yards there and give him a first down.
This is one of those plays that could go either way, but we've seen the influence of the college game now in the NFL, where we're seeing more and more of these plays run, and that one went for a big gain.
They come out with 1 back and 3 tight ends. Nothing doing there. They're going to wind up holding him at the 2. No gain there as he kept it himself at 2nd down. They come out 5 wide, 3 of them to the right side. 2nd and goal, and they will try again from the 2-yard line. Here's Jackson to throw. And this is caught. Touchdown, Baltimore. Austin Eckler, his first touchdown here of the new campaign as his guys continue to put this one out of reach. Tucker with the extra point, and the lead will swell by 1 more. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. I guess they have to feel a little gratified to at least get on the board last time, but still work to do.
No doubt about it. I wonder now if they're going to try to increase the urgency a little bit, maybe pump up the pace, maybe go 2-minute. Who knows? Let's see what they decide to do.
It's a gain of 11 as the Vikings pick up the first. That tight end position, it just seems to continue to evolve every year in the NFL.
Yeah, you're getting really terrific athletes. A lot of them maybe were wide receivers at one point. They continue to give you speed, great hands, and big bodies, which make them excellent targets for quarterbacks.
Throwing on first down. Love. Flush to his right. He gets this one into the hands of Dalvin Cook. And to the 42-yard line here and brought down there.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
And now with a play clock winding down, a whistle and possibly a false start. They were looking good on second down, but now they're backed up 5 yards by the false start, and it's 2nd and 8. Operating from the gun, Love. He's going to loft one deep left side, and he's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Picked off by the former first-rounder Trey Waynes, and he'll take this across midfield and inside the 45.
Oh, man, Brandon, not a real good throw that time. It looked like he tried to put a little too much air under this one, and it turned into a floater. And defensively, this is a dream. He could have fair caught that one. That was way too easy.
A first down run, good for about 3. 2nd and 7 coming up. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Brings up 2nd and 7 at the 41-yard line.
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7.
I got one. Let's go. Get set.
Able to push forward for about 4 down to the 37. In the first half, he was held in check on the ground, but despite that lack of production, they still have the lead.
Yeah, and they've got to feel fortunate about that. If they could actually get production from their lead horse, that would help open up this offense and widen this margin too.
And on 3rd down, a nickel formation here defensively.
Time to go. Night. Mike 5'9". Mike 5'9". Go. Go.
From the gun, Jackson. Got his man complete over the middle. It's Andrews. And they're able to get this one past the 30 down to the 25. 12 yards to pick up there. Good for a Raven first.
I like how they work the tight end on a nice little under route there. And if you're going to give him that much space, he's not even going to catch the football. He's going to run away from you a little bit, and that's exactly what he just did there, picking up extra yardage.
Jackson now nearing the 300-yard mark with still a quarter to play. It's 1st and 10. Jackson now off the bootleg. He's going to take a shot for the end zone, and that is incomplete. Took a shot there on 1st down, but he couldn't reel it in.
Tremendous field position there and a perfect time to do exactly what they did. Take a shot at the end zone. And they went for the big play, just unable to complete it.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. And they'll work it inside the 15-yard line before it's all said and done. 12 yards there and a 1st down.
Well, that play looks familiar because we saw them working on it in practice this week. And for a lineman trying to block on this play, they love when they get the defense moving in one direction. And when they try and change directions, it's a lot easier to pick them up and ward them off.
And that is going to do it for this 3rd quarter of action. This is the National Football League on EA Sports.
Check 55, Mike. Let him know.
Running on 1st down, Eckler. And he'll be taken down at the 2-yard line. 11 more yards that go around, a 1st down as well. The running game continues to be a big part of their success here early in the 4th quarter.
And with those types of runs, that tells you they feel very confident in their running game. They feel very strong at this stage of the contest, and they want to keep doing exactly what we saw there, running the ball down their throat.
And he will take it in for a Ravens touchdown. Lamar Jackson scoring on the 2-yard keeper as his guys continue to pour it on. And that rushing touchdown is 4th, puts him just 1 shy of the NFL record in a single game.
And we all know he would love to get to that record and even beyond it, but he doesn't need to in order to impress in this one, does he? What a performance. What an absolute great game that he's had here in this one.
And he'll take this up past the 20 and down at the 22-yard line. The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more? And the pressure will get to him. He goes down. Now there is a flag on the play, but this looks like holding on the offense.
Sacks all day, baby. Go ahead and take a seat. You can't stop me.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive.
Hey, 4 down, 4 down.
Looking to throw on second down. Love. And an alley to run. And he'll get it up here this time to the 21. He turned that into a nice gain. Gets him 8 yards closer for third down.
Partner was a definite passing down, but he was able to leak out and pick up some good yardage, even though the coverage was excellent. Maybe it's not exactly how they drew it up, but he still got a big chunk of yardage on second down.
The Vikings on third down, lacking much success, just 2 for 7 to this point. This is 3rd and 11.
Three down, 3 down.
From the gun, Love. He's going to loft one deep left side here. And that'll wind up incomplete. Bold play call there. Now it's 4th down. Just nothing there again. He's been sacked multiple times. We've seen the interceptions, of course. He's really been through the ringer, hasn't he?
And what we've seen is a defense that's well coordinated. The front and the back really in sync. The front putting on the pressure. The backside being ball hawks and picking passes off.
At their own 19-yard line.
The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup? Let him get some time.
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in a row that were blowouts. And in none of them did the starting quarterback ever come out of the game for the team that had a big lead. And in each instance, I asked the coaches later on, why didn't you do that? And they all looked at me and said, just don't really do that in the NFL. These guys play, and we just play them all the way through. Now, in certain situations, they will take them out, but for the most part, they're not as worried and concerned about getting them out of the game, and that's always puzzled me a little bit.
So 1st and 10 now from the 30.
Pull it together. Bang, bang, bang.
Now a handoff here to his running back. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up second down.
Check. Watch 54. Watch 54. Oh, here we go.
Space to maneuver at the 40. Give him 14 on that one and a first down.
Well, that's the fear any defense has when the quarterback gets involved in the running game. You don't usually account for him, and he's hurting them today.
Yeah, he's been very involved in the running game. Defensively, when you got the coverage good downfield, how do you account for him, though?
Occasionally, you start to spy him. Take someone that has the same agility, who can dance with him, run with him. And
weaving through traffic, and now he's free. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Ravens touchdown. A great effort there. His second touchdown of the afternoon as his guys continue to put this one out of reach.
And now we've hit that stage of the game, partner, where one of our predecessors, one of the great commentators of all time, he used to sing in this situation when this game appeared to be over.
I know the fat lady's been singing for some time.
No, not her at all. This is one of our guys.
She's singing too.
Oh, she's
on like the 5th tune.
Yeah, she left Scales way behind, but he used to sing something about turning out the lights. The party was over.
And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get it up to the 29-yard line.
Come on.
The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
Again, it's Cook. He'll have a first down past the 40. And finally, down at the 41-yard line. 12 yards there and a first down.
Man, these guys may not win this ball game, but you certainly can't fault the effort of this man here today. He's been a real thorn in their sides all afternoon. And that last carry puts him over the 100-yard mark.
Following the good run by Cook, here's another 1st and 10. Operating from the gun, Love. And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up 2nd down. Another incompletion. You know, it's a wonder he's still moving around back there the number of times he's been sacked.
Yeah, he's staying out there, isn't he? And you don't think about it much in a game like this, but he's showing incredible leadership. Still competing, still fighting, not taking himself out of a ball game that appears lost.
Here now is 2nd and 10, again from the 41. To throw again, Love. That's complete to the receiver, Thielen. And he'll be brought down right at the 45-yard line. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down. The Vikings on 3rd down. They've struggled to the tune of 2 for 8 so far. This will be 3rd and 6. Give to Cook out of the gun. Well, this is going to depend on the spot, but it's not a very generous one. He looks to be about a yard or so short. It's a gain of 5, and now the question, will the offense stay out there on 4th and 1? A critical one here if they're going to have any shot at this thing. So they'll go for it on 4th down.
Don't be scared of it. Ready, go.
Running for it. Here's Cook. And he has the first down yardage before they bring him down right at the 45.
Let's go.
So the Vikings in possession of the football as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Back to throw. Love. And he's going to be swallowed up. Sacked back at the 45-yard line.
That right now, that's a defeated team out there. I think you can see it totally in their body language.
Hands on hips, heads low. It's just been a struggle from the start.
Yeah, this team has been thoroughly beaten right from the word go.
And the job becomes twice as difficult now after the sack. It's 2nd and 20. He'll be taken down at the 48 for a pickup of 2 yards.
Well, they had that one sniffed out. Excellent run blitz. Stopped that one for a short gain.
What makes a good run blitz a good run blitz?
The ability to stay on task, to follow up your assignment, go to the gap you're supposed to cover, and not be deterred by anything else.
3 down, 3 down. Hey, check. 3 down, 3 down. Let's go.
Throwing on 3rd and long. Love. And the Raven pressure too much. Down he goes. Offensively, they're going to have to figure this out before next week. 7 sacks in 1 game.
Yeah, and that's more than any quarterback should have to bear. And if this continues on, there will be another quarterback in the game because no one can stand up to this week after week.
Again, the offense will stay out there. They've converted once on this drive. What can they do here on 4th down?
Ready. Set high.
Now we've got movement up front. And I think this is going to be on Minnesota. Expect this from the visiting team when playing indoors, but not the home team.
They're supposed to get all the advantages, right? The home crowd's supposed to help them. They forgot where they were, perhaps.
A big offensive explosion helped leading them to victory, and The defensive guys, they're just saying, hey, put those points up every week. We'll just keep winning.
They will gratefully accept them, won't they? It makes their job that much easier when they're scoring that many points. Allows them to play with a totally different style and a different flow.
So for Baltimore, it's an ideal start as they move to 3-0 now on the young season. And they will head back home next week. Meanwhile, for the Vikings, the early struggles continue as they